Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. It is me, Jim, better known as Sandman Mystery Media. Yes, I will be covering movies, okay, but right now I'm doing books, okay, because I've been enjoying reading them. I've been getting into the pulp stuff. I've been reading stuff I never read before and really enjoying it, and such as Harry Dresden. I read the first two books, and we'll be talking about that today. Finished The Purple Scar. Really cool and very obscure pulp character. And more importantly, I finished the first novella of the spider that's in this book. There are two spider stories and one Dr. Skull story, but we'll get to that later. All right. We're going to start off with The Purple Scar. This is published by Airship 27 Hangar Productions. And The Purple Scar is a very obscure pulp character from the 40s. He only appeared in 4 pulp stories through one of the detective magazines in the 40s. But he's an intriguing character. He is a very wealthy, well-to-do plastic surgeon, the best in the country of America. And his brother was a highfalutin detective who was on a mob case. And the mob set a trap for him, caught him, killed him, threw acid all over his face, and then threw the body in the river. And when they found him 10 days later, his face was all scarred, purple, bloated, and crazy. And the purple mask had to identify the body. The shock and the horror of what happened to him and how his face looked made him go home and make a very special form-fitting mask that looked just like his brother's deformed, screwed up face, but with phosphorescence in it, so it actually glowed like he was a ghost. And as you can see, he grabbed him a pair of automatics and decided he was going to take on the mob and all crime that couldn't be stopped by the law. And there's 4 short stories in here. The first one is about a corrupt politician, if I remember correctly. Yeah. The second one was stopping a gang war between 3 rival gangs. Oh, gosh. The third one was about a black market operation of the Nazi Bund, which were Nazi sabotage people, breaking into hospitals, stealing medical goods, like penicillin and all that kind of stuff, morphine, yada, 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 and shipping it off to the Nazi army. And the last story, which was called, I forget, I just finished it too. This is horrible. Oh, yeah, it's called The Murder Syndicate. And he's hunting down a murder for hire gang. Really cool. There are elements of horror in it just because of the way he looks. But it's pretty much hard-boiled noir detective fiction with a horror edge to it. And I would definitely recommend The Purple Scar. Moonstone also has some books out with him in it. Mainly one where he teams up with the Black Bat, which is really fun. So go check those out. All right. Now, we're going to talk about the spider now. And I got to tell you, man, the first story in this that I finished it last night, was Satan's Murder Machines, or as the book is titled, Robot Titans of Gotham. Oh my goodness. You thought Doc Savage stories were over the top. You thought the Shadow was creep. Man, the writer Norval Page, who took over with the third issue of The Spider and wrote it till its end, it lasted 118 issues. Not only did he do research, deep dive research, but the stories are breakneck. I mean, the action happens from page one and it doesn't let up. And the body count in these books, oh my God. For example, the first story is about these 8 robots, which are actually exoskeletons. And they're about 12, 15, maybe 20 feet tall. And there's people inside controlling them. And it's an army of 8 of these robots that can't be hurt by small arms fire or none of that stuff. And they're in the city of New York, and they are just wreaking havoc. We're talking knocking down brownstone tenements, picking up cars and throwing them around. I mean, they are literally trying to take over the city of New York, okay? So you can imagine the kill count is in the thousands, okay? I mean, this story is just off the freaking hook. And then the second book in this that I just started reading, I'm only 2 or 3 chapters in, and it's called The Death Reign of the Vampire King. And the kill count by the Vampire King, who is using regular vampire bats that he trained, but has been able to put some type of poison on their teeth and tongue that doesn't kill them but kills humans. And he trains them just to go out and wreak havoc everywhere. We're talking Pennsylvania. We're talking parts of New York, New Jersey, everywhere. And I'm only 3 chapters in, and there's like a kill count of 300 already. In the beginning, the Spider was trying to save one of the gambler mobsters who he knew was going to get hit. And not only could he not do it, but all of his bodyguards, his entire gang was killed. And the Spider didn't do it. Not at all. Didn't lift a finger. And the cops try to catch him there because they see him at the scene of the crime. That was like 50, 60 dead right there. And then another 70 or 80 get killed when he's on the way from upstate New York to Pennsylvania. And then a whole bunch of people when he hits Pennsylvania get killed, like another 70, 80. So we're like at 260, 270, 300, somewhere around there. And that's 3 chapters into the second novel that's in this book. Oh my God. And I mean, damn, the Spider gets beat the F down, man. But he keeps swinging, till he defeats him. In the first story, Satan's Murder Machines, with the giant exoskeleton robots that you can kind of see here on the cover by none other than Jim Steranko. I mean, taking these things down, he almost catches pneumonia. I mean, it's so off the cuff, and he's bruised, bloodied, no broken bones yet, but wow. I mean, everybody knows Doc Savage. Everybody knows The Shadow. Guys, if you can find some Spider novels, read them. Okay, the first 2, from what I understand, are just regular noir shadow clone type stories. But it's the third one on that really take off running, man. And you guys got to read these. And there's a reason the Spider is called the Master of Men and the most feared manhunter in pulp fiction. So definitely, definitely go ahead and try to grab these if you can find spider reprints. Okay. The last thing I'm going to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, is Harry Dresden, the Dresden Files. I have read the first two books. Number one, Stormfront, and number two, Full Moon. They are damn good, I'm not going to lie. And I mean, these fit in with my occult detective October reads. So I think now I've had like 8 or 9 or 10 reads. I don't know. I'd have to add up the books. But the first book, Stormfront, it introduces us to Harry Dresden, who is an actual wizard. Yes, he's a wizard. Supposedly white magic, but you know, magic is something no one's supposed to do, so it's all bad. Anyway, uh, and he's a PI for hire, you know. He helps not with like the cheating husband type, but weird stories. And he sells potions, just not love potions. Anything to get by and make a buck, right? And he's based out of Chicago, like Carl Kolchak the Night Stalker. We run into him when he's kind of down on his luck. He hasn't worked for the police in a while. He's a month behind on his rent for his apartment and his office. And all of a sudden, the cops call him in because people are being murdered somehow by literally having their hearts blown out of the side of their body or right out of the chest. But there's no weapon, nothing there. In fact, 2 people were caught in the middle of sex and their hearts were blown out of them from the side, and there was no gunplay, no nothing. Okay. It deals with the Thaumaturgy, which is a type of sympathetic magic. It deals with energies from storms, and it deals with Harry Dresden trying to find out who this killer is before the killer can use this thaumaturgic magic on him. Oh, it also includes sex magic in there. Okay. All the horrible, evil, satanic black magic you can think of is being used in this story. And the reason he has to do it before the unknown necromancer, warlock, whatever you want to call him, kills Harry Dresden is because somehow he, which I'm not going to disclose, he gets a lock of Harry Dresden's hair. And that's all you need for thaumaturgy. Okay. It is 374 pages. I read the book in, I think, 2 days, you know, and that's with me working. You get sucked in. I suggest it. If you can find them on the cheap, go for it. Okay. The second book, Full Moon, damn good. Yes, as you can tell with Full Moon as a title, it deals with werewolves. Killings start happening, and it's obvious it's a werewolf doing it or werewolves. You learn about the different types of werewolves that exist in folklore through this story. And it's a really, really good book. But, oh man, is it gory as hell. I'm not one for the gore. I don't like splatter punk. I don't like torture porn. I don't like any of those kind of things. I'm the Universal Classics kind of guy. And the 50s and 60s sci-fi and horror movies, Hammer horror, is like where I go. This, I mean, I understand Wolverines. Werewolves are going to rip and tear and shred, so I get it. But yeah, whew, if you dig that stuff and you like the first book, you're going to love this. Okay, that when I finished this book, I had to cleanse my palate, and that's when I finished The Purple Scar and started The Spider. I am not going to get to the John Silence stories like I thought this month, and nor will I get to the Kolchak Papers Grave Secrets like I wanted to. I'm going to try, but I need to get away from the Dresden Files / horror stuff for a while, and yeah, we'll see how I feel after finishing The Spider. After I finished Death Reign of the Vampire King, which, by the way, I showed in an earlier video, was adapted as a graphic novel by the late, great Gene Colan of Marvel's Tomb of Dracula fame. Okay? So check out that video to view the beautiful art of Gene Colan on the story, which I will tell you more about when I finish it. And then the last story in this book, The Octopus, that is not a spider story. It is a Dr. Skull story who only had 3 appearances in the Octopus pulp magazine, which only lasted 2 or 3 issues. And it's supposed to be brutal, gory, graphic as all heck. So I may, after reading this book, have to go over back to Kolchak stuff. We'll see. But I'm excited to read this. I hope my enthusiasm rubs off on you guys and you want to try some pulp. It doesn't matter if it's the Spider, the Purple Scar, the Green Hornet, or Doc Savage, the Shadow, or the Avenger. Go read this stuff, because without this stuff, there would be no superheroes, guys. Remember that. Without Doc Savage, without Zorro, without the Shadow, you have no Batman, Superman, none of that stuff. And without Algernon Blackwood doing John Silence, you'd have no Jim Dresden. Oh. you'd have no Harry Dresden. All right? On that note, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you feel like it. Leave a comment too. Okay? Because I answer each and every comment. I love y'all. God bless y'all. And I will see you in the next video. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you're making it a great day.